I am here right in the place where your thoughts have been racing. I am not speaking to you from far away, not from a distance, not from a place where I cannot hear the noise in your mind. I am here in the moment you keep trying to hurry past. I am here in the pause you keep calling a problem. I am here even while you are pretending you are fine, even while you are smiling on the outside and shrinking on the inside. This moment was not an accident. You did not stumble into this word by chance. I have brought you here on purpose because I see what you have been measuring, and I am ready to lift that weight off your chest. I see the way your thumb keeps scrolling when your heart is tired. I see you watching their announcements, their milestones, their finally moments, and I see what it does to you when the screen goes dark and you are left alone with your own life. I see you counting birthdays like evidence, counting years like they are indictments, counting closed doors like they are sentences. I see you doing the math, how long it has been, how much you prayed, how hard you tried, how many times you started again. I see you replaying conversations, remembering what they said, remembering what you expected, remembering what you thought would happen by now. And I see the quiet conclusion you've been tempted to make. Maybe I was overlooked. Maybe I was forgotten. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm late. Beloved, that lie is exhausting you. Not because you are weak, but because you were never meant to carry that kind of accounting in your soul. You were not created to live with a scoreboard in your hands and a clock on your back. You were not made to wake up and immediately measure your worth against someone else's highlight. Yet, you've been doing it sometimes without even realizing it, calling it motivation, calling it awareness, calling it just being realistic, when in truth, it has been slowly stealing your peace and bending your trust. This is a holy interruption. This is me stepping into the very place comparison has been loudest, because I will not let you keep bleeding in silence while you pretend it is normal. I see you when you celebrate them and then punish yourself. I see you when you clap and then collapse. I see you when you say, I'm happy for them, and you are, but afterward you feel smaller, like their breakthrough is proof that yours is delayed. I see you when you check your phone one more time, not because you want to be entertained, but because you are searching for a sign that you are not behind. And I am telling you now, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not failing. You are in my hands. Hear me clearly, because this sentence will guard you if you let it. Do not steal another person's timeline and call it faith. Do not take their season, their pace, their path, and use it as the ruler to measure my love for you. That is not faith. That is fear, wearing religious clothing. That is anxiety trying to sit on the throne of your mind. That is the ache of waiting, trying to rewrite your identity. And I have come to correct it gently, firmly, completely. Because the deepest pain is not that you feel behind. The deepest pain is that you feel forgotten. You've been telling yourself you can handle being patient, but what you have been fighting is the question underneath the waiting. Do I still matter? Did God notice me? Did my prayers reach Him? Did my obedience count? And you have carried that question into your days and into your nights. You have carried it into your work, into your relationships, into your quiet moments. And it has made you tired in a way sleep cannot fix. Because it is not physical exhaustion, it is spiritual strain. So I am meeting you right there, not to shame you for measuring, but to free you from it, not to scold you for looking sideways, but to turn your face forward again. I am not threatened by your honesty. I am not offended by your tears. I am not surprised by your questions. I already knew where your mind has been going when no one else could see it. I already knew the places you've been counting. I already knew the names you've been comparing yourself to. I already knew the moments you've been revisiting, wondering if you made the wrong choice, wondering if you waited too long, wondering if you should have done more. And I am telling you, I have not lost track of you. I have not misplaced your life. I have not forgotten what I promised. This word is arriving at the exact point the pressure has been highest, at the exact point the enemy has tried to convince you that time is proof you are unloved. But I do not measure you the way you have been measuring yourself. I do not love you according to your speed. I do not call you worthy based on your progress. I do not draw near to you only when you are producing. I am near to you now. I am speaking now. I am holding you now. Not because you finally got it right, but because you are mine. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breathing slow down. You do not have to keep performing peace while you privately panic. Bring me the scorecard. Bring me the stopwatch. Bring me the private list of what you thought would be done by now. Bring me the silent resentment you feel when another door opens for someone else. Bring me the dread you feel when you see another engagement, another promotion, another baby announcement, another graduation, another new beginning that looks like what you have been praying for. Bring it to me, and let me speak into it with truth. This moment is appointed. This moment is not random. I am not merely addressing your schedule. I am addressing your heart. I am not only correcting your thoughts, I am restoring your trust. And I am telling you, with tenderness and authority, you are not forgotten in your waiting. You are not invisible in your delay. You are not abandoned in your silence. I see what you've been measuring, and I am here to teach you how to live free again. Stay with me here. Do not rush past this. Do not numb it. Do not argue with it. Let this be the holy moment where the lie loses its voice and my peace begins to return. Because I have something to heal in you before I show you what I have been preparing for you. And you are safe, not because everything is fixed, but because you are held. Stop calling it motivation. Stop dressing it up like wisdom. Stop pretending it is helping you when it is quietly hollowing you out. Because comparison does not come to sharpen you, it comes to steal from you. It steals peace first, so you cannot rest. Then it steals identity, so you cannot stand. Then it steals trust, so you cannot wait without fear. And you have felt that theft, even if you have not had words for it. You have been telling yourself, it's just pressure, but I tell you the truth. It is interference. It is noise sent to compete with my voice. It is a constant whisper that tries to convince you that your life is less because it looks different. It is a lens that turns blessings into burdens and turns my timing into accusation. And it is not because you are ungrateful, beloved, not because you don't love me, not because you haven't tried to be happy for others, but because you have been bruised by measuring your life against someone else's highlight, and the bruise keeps getting pressed every time you look sideways. I see what it has cost you. I see the way joy tries to land in your heart and then slips off because your mind immediately asks, but is it enough? I see you receiving something good and still feeling empty because you saw someone else receive something bigger, louder, faster. I see you saying thank you while your chest feels tight, not because gratitude is wrong, but because comparison has turned gratitude into a performance. You have been forcing appreciation with clenched hands, and I did not design gratitude to feel like a strain. Gratitude is meant to be a river, not a rehearsal. Peace is meant to settle in you, not to be acted out in front of others while you privately unravel. And I see the nights. I see when the house gets quiet and the screens go dark and the day stops distracting you and suddenly the questions get loud. Why them and not me? Why now and not yet? What did I miss? What am I doing wrong? You call it overthinking, but it is deeper than that. It is your heart looking for safety in a world of timelines. It is your soul asking for proof that I am still writing, still moving, still remembering, and comparison answers with cruelty. It tells you you're behind. It tells you you're late. It tells you you're less. And that lie sits on your chest and steals your sleep. Even your prayers have been affected, not because I stopped hearing you, but because comparison has been warping your expectations. You pray, and then you look around, and when you don't see instant evidence, you assume delay is denial. You assume silence is distance. You assume waiting is punishment. And so you pray again, not with childlike trust, but with a frantic tone like you have to convince me to care, like you have to earn my attention, like you have to outpace time to be loved. Listen to me. You do not have to compete for my affection. You do not have to hustle for my notice. You do not have to prove your worth with speed. And that jealousy you've been ashamed of, let me name it with tenderness so you can be healed. You do not want their life. You do not want their exact story, their exact responsibilities, their exact battles, their exact weight. What you want is reassurance. What you want is to know I haven't skipped you. What you want is to feel chosen in the waiting. What you want is to believe that your obedience mattered, that your tears were seen, that your prayers did not hit the ceiling and fall back down. That ache is not evil, it is pain language. It is a tender place in you reaching for certainty. But when you let comparison interpret that ache, it will always translate it into shame. So I am correcting the translation. I am telling you what is true while you are still in the middle of it. Comparison is not your teacher, it is your thief. It does not lead you into growth. It leads you into restlessness. It does not produce strength. It produces striving. It does not build trust. It breeds suspicion. Suspicion that I am good to others and cautious with you, generous with them and forgetful with you. And that suspicion is not from me. My love is not measured out in portions based on your performance. My faithfulness is not a limited resource. Someone else's blessing is not evidence that I have less for you. It is evidence that I am a God who blesses, and I have not changed. Beloved, comparison has been making you interrogate my heart with every scroll, with every update, with every milestone you witness. You keep taking another person's chapter and laying it over your page, then wondering why the words don't match. You keep holding their harvest up to your seed, then calling your ground barren. You keep looking at their open door and calling your closed door a curse, when sometimes that closed door is my mercy. Sometimes it is my protection. Sometimes it is my love refusing to let you walk into something before you are ready to carry it in peace. Breathe now. Let your body hear what your spirit has been longing to hear. Inhale and let the noise lose volume. Exhale and let the urgency leave your chest. You do not have to keep listening to the voice that hurries you. You do not have to keep listening to the voice that accuses you. Come back to my voice. Come back to the place where you are not evaluated, not ranked, not compared. Come back to the truth that you are mine. Be still for a moment and notice this. When you stop measuring, peace begins to return. When you stop counting, your shoulders begin to soften. When you stop chasing another person's pace, you can finally hear my footsteps beside you. This is not you falling behind. This is you coming home. This is you stepping out of the thief's conversation and back into my presence. Let the noise be quieted. Let my words be louder than their timeline. Let my love be more convincing than your fear. I am here, and I am not rushing you. I am healing you. Now, beloved, do not let this be a moment that only brushes your heart and then passes. Do not let my peace visit you like a stranger and then leave because you went back to rehearsing the lie. I am teaching you how to stand with your own story again, quietly, steadily, without needing to prove anything to anyone. And sometimes the smallest yes is the doorway back into stability. Not because I need your gesture, but because your soul needs agreement. Because what you practice with your mouth and your hands begins to retrain what you have been carrying in your mind. So if this word is for you, if you can feel me touching the place where pressure has been pressing, you tap like as a simple yes. Yes to peace over pressure. Yes to my voice over their timeline. Yes to being held instead of hurried. Let that small act be your gentle refusal to keep partnering with restlessness. Let it be you saying, I will not be dragged by comparison today. Not loud, not dramatic, just honest, just aligned, just you choosing, in the middle of your real life, to return to the place where you are safe. And I want you to seal it with your words, because you have been speaking behind over yourself for too long. You have been whispering, I should be farther, I should have more, I should be there by now, and those sentences have been shaping the atmosphere inside you. So write this, and let heaven and your own heart hear you agree with truth. My timeline is in God's hands. Comment it, beloved, not as a performance for people, but as a declaration against the lie. Because when you put truth where your eyes can see it, you interrupt the spiral. When you confess trust, you stop feeding fear. When you say it plainly, you stop editing your life with anxiety. My timeline is in God's hands, not in the hands of your critics, not in the hands of your past, not in the hands of one mistake you keep replaying, not in the hands of the calendar you keep checking. My timeline is in God's hands, and if you have trouble believing it, that is why you must speak it, because faith is often a choice before it is a feeling. Peace is often received, one agreement at a time. You are not pretending. You are returning. You are not forcing it. You are surrendering. You are standing with your own story again. And if you want more nightly words that pull you out of anxiety and back into trust, subscribe. Stay close. Not because you are dependent, but because you are being rebuilt. You have been surrounded by so many loud voices, feeds, and forecasts and opinions and timelines that your spirit has been fatigued from translating everything into fear. So let me give you a steadier sound to fall asleep to. Let me remind you, again and again, that you do not have to carry tomorrow with clenched fists. Let me meet you in the hours when the questions get louder, when the room gets quiet, when your mind tries to drag you back into measuring. You are not meant to walk back into peace alone every night. Stay connected, and let this become a place where you are recentered, not re-wounded. Because hear me, publicly agreeing with truth is not a small thing. It is warfare in gentle clothing. It is you breaking the agreement with the lie that you are behind. It is you stepping out of the courtroom of comparison where you have been sentencing yourself with numbers and dates and should have statements. It is you coming back under my covering and saying, "Judge, I resign. I am not the author of my days. I am not the keeper of every outcome. I will not measure my worth with pace." And as you agree with me, your nervous system begins to exhale. Your heart begins to soften. Your faith begins to breathe again. Now stay with me, because I am not only calming you, I am about to clarify you. I am not only pulling you out of pressure, I am going to show you what I have been doing in the pause. You have called it delay, but I call it love in motion. You have called it being behind, but I call it being guarded. You have called it slow, but I call it precise. And I know that part of you still wonders, why does it look like others are moving and I'm still waiting? So come closer and listen, because I am going to answer that question with tenderness and authority. Now let me show you why your pace is not a problem, it is protection. You think you're behind, but I am protecting you from a door too early. And I need you to hear this without flinching, because the part of you that has been panicking has been interpreting my quietness as absence. But I have already gone before you. I have already seen what you have not yet seen. I have already stood on the other side of what you are asking for, and I am not confused about the timing. What looks like delay to you is ordered sequencing to me. What feels like being left out is often me keeping you covered. Not because I am withholding from you, but because I am guarding what you can't yet see. Beloved, I do not measure love the way you measure speed. I do not prove my faithfulness by rushing you into something you are not ready to carry. You have been begging for a door, and you have been calling it faith, but underneath it has been fear. Fear that if it doesn't happen soon, it won't happen at all. And I am speaking to that fear right now. I am not late. I am not distracted. I am not testing you with cruelty. I am protecting you with precision. Because there are doors that look like answered prayer, but become heavy in your hands when you walk through them too soon. You have been looking at the surface of what you want, the title, the relationship, the platform, the money, the opportunity, and you have been forgetting that every blessing comes with weight. Every open door comes with responsibility. Every finally comes with a new kind of battle. And I love you too much to hand you something shiny that will strain your soul. I love you too much to give you an upgrade that your healing has not caught up to. I love you too much to let you step into a season that will expose wounds you have not yet allowed me to mend. Not because you are unqualified, but because you are still becoming. Not because you are delayed, but because you are being prepared in ways your eyes cannot measure. Some of you have been asking me for a relationship, and you have been thinking the wait means you are unwanted. But I have seen what you would have tolerated just to stop feeling behind. I have seen the version of you that would have called attention love and intensity, security, because you were tired of waiting. And I will not hand you companionship that costs you peace. I will not give you a person who feels like proof, but becomes a prison. I am not punishing you with singleness. I am protecting you from choosing from a wound. I am teaching you how to be whole, so you do not call chaos chemistry and call crumbs a feast. Some of you have been asking me for a platform, for visibility, for influence, for your gift to finally be seen. But you do not yet understand how loud applause can be when it is trying to replace my voice. You don't yet see how quickly public affirmation can become a drug when your identity is still tender. And I will not elevate you into a storm you have not yet learned to be steady in. I will not place you in rooms that demand a version of you that hasn't been formed in secret. Because a platform without humility becomes pressure, and pressure without intimacy becomes performance, and performance without peace becomes collapse. Not because you won't be used, but because you will be sustained. I am not interested in you rising quickly and breaking quietly. I am interested in you standing firmly and lasting. Some of you have been asking me for money, for provision, for overflow, and you have been reading the weight as rejection. But I have seen what quick increase would do to your heart if your soul still believes your worth is what you can buy, what you can prove, what you can show. I have seen how a sudden windfall could amplify your anxieties, multiply your options, and expose your unresolved patterns. And I am a father, not a frantic giver. I will not hand you what will harm you just to prove you're not forgotten. I will teach you stewardship, stability, discernment, because what I place in your hands is meant to bless you, not bend you. Not because I am keeping you small, but because I am keeping you safe. And some of you have been asking me for an opportunity, a door in your career, a new assignment, a move, a launch, a yes from someone who seems to hold your future. And I know how personal it has felt each time it didn't happen. But listen, a door opening early can cost more than a door opening late. There are opportunities that come with alignment, and there are opportunities that come with compromise. There are open doors that require you to shrink your convictions to fit through them. There are rooms that will celebrate your talent but quietly drain your soul. And if I have closed it, if I have delayed it, if I have not allowed it yet, it is not because I am ignoring you, it is because I am shielding you. I am saving you from a yes that would have demanded an amen from your anxiety. You have been thinking, if God loved me, he would hurry. But my love is not anxious. My love is not pressured by other people's pace. My love does not react, it leads. And I am leading you with a tenderness that refuses to rush your formation. Because what I'm preparing is not only the thing you want, I am preparing you for the thing you want. I am building capacity. I am deepening character. I am healing the places that would bleed into your blessing. I am teaching you to hear me clearly, so you don't confuse urgency with instruction. I am steadying you so when the door opens, you don't walk in shaking, you walk in anchored. So when you feel that sting of behind, bring it to me and let me tell you what it really is. It is often mercy in disguise. It is protection wearing the clothing of pause. It is love refusing to let you be crushed by what you keep calling next. And I know you've been tempted to interpret the wait as a verdict on your life, but your timeline is not a punishment. It is preparation with love attached to it. It is a father's hand on your shoulder saying, not yet, because I have something better than fast. I have something safe. I have something right. I have something that will not cost you your peace. You are not being denied. You are being guarded. You are not being overlooked. You are being covered. You are not stuck. You are being strengthened. And I am not asking you to pretend waiting doesn't hurt. I am asking you to trust that my no is not rejection, and my not yet is not neglect. It is protection. It is preparation. It is love in motion. And when the right door opens, you will not have to force it. You will not have to beg for it. You will not have to compromise for it. You will walk through it with peace, because it will be timed with who you have become. So breathe, beloved. Let the pressure to catch up fall off your chest. Let the fear that you are missing it loosen its grip. I am not trying to prove anything to the people you've been watching. I am writing your story on purpose. And I will not give you what will break you just to quiet your insecurity. I will give you what will bless you and keep you. I will give you what matches your healing. I will give you what you can carry in peace. And until then, you are not behind, you are protected. And now, I anchor you in what I have already spoken, because your heart needs more than a soothing thought. It needs a sure foundation when the old urgency tries to return. Hear my word. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Not in your panic, not in your pressure, not in your comparison, in its time. And I know that phrase has been hard for you because you have been reading it like a delay, like a postponement, like a vague answer. But I am not vague, beloved. I am precise. I am not slow. I am right. And what I call its time is not a random date on a calendar. It is alignment. It is readiness. It is wholeness. It is love finishing what it began in you. Because you keep asking me for your time is the time that would quiet the ache fastest. Your time is the time that would make you feel less exposed, less embarrassed, less left out. Your time is the time that would finally let you stop explaining your waiting to yourself and to others. But its time is different. Its time is the moment when what I place in your hands will not pull you apart. Its time is the season when the blessing will match the strength I have built, when the open door will match the wisdom I have formed, when the increase will match the maturity I have secured. Its time is when you can receive without losing yourself, when you can hold it without hemorrhaging peace, when you can walk into it without begging it to prove you are worthy. Beauty requires that kind of readiness. Beauty is not rushed. Beauty is not forced. Beauty is not frantic. Beauty is formed. And I know the ache, beloved. I know you want a date on the promise. I know you want to circle something, to point to something, to say, here, this is when it changes. You want certainty you can touch. You want a timeline you can manage. You want an answer that ends the questions. But I do not always give you a date, because you would start living for the date instead of living with me. You would start worshiping the moment instead of trusting the maker of moments. So I give you something better than a date. I give you my presence in the process. I give you myself while I shape you. I give you my voice while I steady you. I give you my nearness while I prepare what you cannot yet see. And I need you to understand this. My presence is not the consolation prize for a delayed promise. My presence is the promise carrying you to the promise. Listen to the war inside you, and do not be ashamed that it is there. One part of you says, trust. Another part of you says, hurry. One part of you says, rest. Another part of you says, control. And you have been calling that battle motivation, but it has been anxiety in a suit. Hurry always reaches for control. Hurry always starts counting, measuring, comparing, editing, trying to force what can only be formed. Hurry makes you grip. Hurry makes you strive. Hurry makes you interpret every quiet season as a threat. But trust produces rest. Trust loosens the fist. Trust returns the pen to my hand. Trust says, I do not have to outrun what God has ordained. Trust says, if it is mine and my will, it will not miss me. Trust says, I can breathe while God builds. You have been afraid that waiting means nothing is happening. But I tell you the truth, some of my most beautiful work is invisible at first. I am not only arranging the outside, I am aligning the inside. I am not only opening doors, I am closing gaps in you, gaps where insecurity leaks, gaps where approval used to decide your worth, gaps where fear used to drive your decisions. I am making you whole, and wholeness is part of beauty. Alignment is part of beauty. A heart that can stay soft under pressure is part of beauty. A mind that can stay quiet in the middle of uncertainty is part of beauty. I am making everything beautiful, and that includes you. Not just your outcome, your inner world. Not just your destination, your becoming. So when you see someone else's acceleration, do not assume you have been forgotten. When you see someone else's timeline, do not accuse mine. When you feel that old impulse to rush me, remember what my word has already settled. I make everything beautiful in its time, not fast, not late, but right. Right for your future. Right for your peace. Right for your calling. Right for the kind of life that does not collapse under the weight of what it prayed for. And I am asking you to stop treating beauty like speed. Speed can be impressive, but it is not always safe. Speed can look like favor, but favor without formation can become a burden. I am not interested in you arriving quickly if you arrive fractured. I am not interested in you receiving early, if receiving early reopens the wounds you beg me to heal. I am not interested in you stepping into more, if more steals your quiet, your joy, your ability to trust me in the dark. I am building something that will last. I am building something that will not have to be replaced because it was built on panic. I am building something rooted. I am building something steady. I am building something beautiful. So let this settle in you like warm oil over a bruised place. Let it soothe the part of you that keeps checking the clock. Let it calm the part of you that keeps asking, am I behind? Hear me clearly, and let it become your new agreement. Your life is not late. Your life is being formed. Your life is not late. Your life is being formed. And what I am forming in you is not wasting time. It is preparing a beauty that will meet you at the right moment and feel like peace when it arrives. And now, beloved, I do not only want you to feel better for a moment, I want you to be steadied. Because peace that depends on a good day is fragile. But peace that is anchored in my authorship will stand when the questions come back. So I take you by the hand and I bring you to what my word has already said about you. Long before you could explain yourself, long before you could defend your pace, long before you ever learned to be ashamed of your timeline. Psalm 139:16 says, all your days were written before one of them came to be. Before one of them. Before the first morning you can remember. Before the first disappointment that made you wonder if you were late. Before the first detour that made you think you had ruined everything. Your days were written. Do you hear me? Written, not guessed, not improvised, not scribbled in panic because you made a mistake. not revised because someone else sped past you, written. And I need you to let that settle deeper than your feelings, deeper than your fear, deeper than your habit of measuring yourself with other people's milestones. Because anxiety has been acting like an editor in your life. Overthinking has been trying to take the pen out of my hand. You have been lying awake, replaying conversations, running scenarios, counting months, counting years, counting losses, and you have called it being responsible. But I call it what it is. You have been trying to rewrite what I authored. You have been trying to edit the chapter you're in because you are afraid of how it looks. Not because you don't care, but because you've been trying to control what you were meant to trust. Not because you are lazy, but because you are tired of feeling exposed. Not because you don't love me, but because you have been carrying the weight of outcomes as if they were your job. And beloved, that weight has been bending you. It has been tightening your chest. It has been stealing your sleep. It has been turning your prayers into negotiations, and your waiting into shame. But I did not write your story for you to live it with a red pen in your hand, crossing out pages in fear, trying to make it look like someone else's book. I see the timeline shame you've been swallowing. I see it when you're single and you feel like you need to explain why. I see it when you walk into rooms and you feel the question before anyone asks it. Why aren't you married yet? Why isn't it together yet? Why are you still waiting? And you smile and you act fine, but inside you feel like you're behind in a race I never entered you into. I see it when you had to start over, when what you built fell apart, when the plan changed, when the relationship ended, when the job ended, when the dream shifted, when you had to move back, when you had to rebuild. I see how you've tried to hide that chapter like it disqualifies you. But I tell you the truth, starting over is not proof you failed. Sometimes it is proof I rescued you before you settled for less than what I wrote. I see it in your career detours. You thought you would be farther by now. You thought the path would be straighter. You thought obedience would look like constant acceleration. But you have learned that some doors close even when you pray, and some paths bend even when your heart is sincere. And you have been tempted to call the detour delay and call the delay loss. Yet I am telling you, there are turns in your road that were not punishment. They were positioning. There are pauses that were not rejection. They were protection. There are seasons that felt like nothing was moving, while I was moving everything you couldn't see, aligning people, uprooting pride, healing motives, building wisdom, training your discernment, strengthening your no, preparing your yes. And I see you waiting for healing, not just healing in your body, but healing in your memory, healing in your nervous system, healing in the place where trust was broken and you became hyper-aware, hypersensitive, always scanning for what might go wrong. You have wondered why it's taking so long to feel like yourself again. You have worried that you'll never be over it, never free, never light. But listen to me. I am gentle with you. I do not shame you for the time it takes to mend what hurt you deeply. I do not rush what must be restored carefully. And I am not standing over you with a stopwatch. I am near you with a steady hand. I am writing wholeness into your days, and I am patient enough to finish what I started. I see you rebuilding finances, too quietly trying to recover, quietly trying to be wise, quietly trying to undo what you didn't know then, quietly trying to climb out of a hole you never thought you'd be in. And you have felt embarrassment about it, like everyone else is ahead, like you're late to stability, like you're late to stewardship, like you're late to peace. Beloved, hear me. I do not despise your rebuilding. I bless it. I am with you in the humble steps. I am with you in the discipline. I am with you when you say no to what drains you. I am with you when you choose wisdom over image. And I can restore in ways that do not make sense to the natural mind, because I am not limited to the timeline you fear. Now listen closely, because this is where your freedom begins to deepen. Anxiety does not get final edit rights over your life. Your worry does not get to revise my intention. Your fear does not get to hold a meeting about your future and decide what happens next. Your regret does not get to rewrite your identity. I wrote your days, and I am still writing your days, and I have not lost the thread of your story. You keep trying to fix the ending from the middle of the chapter, and you keep calling it wisdom, but it is torment. You were never meant to carry tomorrow in your teeth. You were meant to carry it in trust. So stop editing with anxiety. Stop crossing out what I allowed to shape you. Stop treating the waiting as if it is evidence that I forgot you. Stop narrating your life with shame-filled subtitles. Behind, late, less, missed it, too old, too much time. Those are not my words. Those are the words of a thief that wants you restless, because a restless heart is easier to lead away from me. But I am calling you back into authorship, my authorship, back into the safety of knowing that even the pages you don't understand are still pages I am able to redeem. And I want you to remember this, because you have pictured me as distant when you don't see immediate change. You have imagined I'm watching from far away, arms folded, waiting for you to get it together. That is not who I am. I am not watching from far away. I am holding the pen and holding your heart. I am close enough to hear the sigh you don't call a prayer. I am near enough to catch every tear that surprised you. I am present enough to guide you when you don't know what to choose. And I am faithful enough to finish what I wrote, even when you've been tempted to doubt the plot. So, rest your mind now. Let the mental rewinding stop. Let the frantic forecasting quiet down. Let the urge to compare chapters dissolve. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake that I'm trying to manage. You are not a delayed version of someone else. You are mine, and your story is authored. Your story is covered. Your story is held, and the one who wrote your days is not nervous about the page you're on. Be still, beloved. Put the pen down. Let me write. Let me lead. Let me time it. Let me make it beautiful. And let this be the settled truth beneath your breathing tonight. I am here, and I have not lost you. Now hear me, beloved, because this is where your mind keeps slipping back into pressure. You keep borrowing someone else's breakthrough to judge your waiting. You keep taking a highlight in their life and using it as a verdict on yours. You keep scrolling past a smile, an announcement, a ring, a promotion, a pregnancy, a launch, a new house, a finally, and something in you tightens, not because you are evil, not because you are ungrateful, but because you have been tired of carrying hope with empty hands. And in that tired place, comparison starts talking like wisdom. It starts whispering, "See? You should be there by now." It starts insisting, "If it happened for them, what is wrong with you?" And I am interrupting that voice right now because it is not telling you the truth. It is stealing it. You see their outcome, but you do not see their process. You see the photo, but you do not see the prayers. You see the fruit, but you do not see the roots. You see the door open, but you do not see how many doors closed first, how many nights they cried, how many times they wanted to quit, how many times I had to correct them, humble them, heal them, restrain them, reroute them. You do not see the private battles they fought to survive the very thing you think you want. You do not see the cost of the oil on their life, the crushing that produced it, the waiting that matured it, the surrender that sustained it. And because you cannot see it, your mind fills in the blanks with a lie, that their speed means they are favored more, that your pace means you are loved less. But my love does not do favorites the way your insecurity imagines. My love is personal. My love is precise. My love knows what each story can hold. And listen closely. You are not jealous of them. You are hungry for hope. That pang you feel is not always envy. Sometimes it is longing that has lost its language. It is the part of you that still believes I can do it, but fears I will not do it for you. It is the part of you that sees possibility in their life and wonders if possibility has your name on it too. So do not condemn yourself for the ache. Bring the ache to me. Let it become prayer instead of poison. Let it become a doorway back into trust instead of a window you stare through while forgetting the room you are in with me. Because you have been treating their timeline as if it is evidence in your case against me. You have been saying, "Look, God, you did it for them. Why not me?" And I am not offended by your honesty, but I am correcting your measurement. Their pace is not your proof. Their chapter is not your clock. Their now is not your never. Not because you are behind, but because your assignment is different. Not because you were overlooked, but because you were ordered. Not because you missed it, but because I am leading you on a path that fits what I placed inside you, what I am healing inside you, and what I am calling you to carry without breaking. Some of what you are watching is acceleration by striving, and I need you to be discerning, beloved, because not every fast thing is a blessed thing. Some timelines move quickly because people push, perform, manipulate, grasp, settle, force, compromise, and call it favor. Some doors open because someone refused to sit with me long enough to be formed, and they ran through the first opening to silence their fear. And yes, it may look like progress, but I see what it costs them at night. I see what it does to their peace. I see the weight they carry when the applause fades. I see the anxiety they hide behind the announcement. And I love you too much to give you a finally that becomes your I can't breathe. And some timelines are sustained by surrender. Some stories unfold slower because I am building something that will last. I am not just giving you moments, I am giving you foundations. I am not just giving you a door, I am giving you the strength to stay inside what you asked for without losing yourself. I am not just answering a prayer, I am healing the one who is praying so the answer does not become an idol, a crutch, a source of identity, a replacement for me. And you keep thinking that waiting is wasted time, but I tell you, surrender is not delay, it is development. Surrender is not stagnation, it is strengthening. Surrender is love, letting you grow roots deep enough to hold the fruit you keep asking for. So stop borrowing someone else's breakthrough to judge your waiting. Stop picking up their blessing like a ruler and measuring your life with it. Stop using another person's pace to accuse my timing. Their story is not your standard. Their path is not your permission. Their season is not your sentence. You are not being graded against them. You are being guided by me. And I do not copy stories, I create them. I do not mass-produce callings, I appoint them. I do not recycle timelines, I write them. I am not limited to what you have seen happen for others. I am not bound to repeat what you have watched. I am the author, and I am still creating. Look at me, not at them. When Peter looked at the wind, he began to sink. When he looked at me, he walked. And you have been sinking under the weight of watching other people's waves. You have been letting their movement make you question your footing. But I am saying to you, return your gaze. Come back to the simplicity of trust. Come back to the quiet place where you remember who I am and who you are. You are mine. You are not late. You are not less. You are not disqualified because someone else is celebrating. You are not forgotten because someone else is seen. You are not stalled because someone else is speeding. You are being led. And here is the truth that will set you free if you will agree with it. What is for you will not require you to compete. What is for you will not demand you to become a counterfeit of someone else. What is for you will meet you in the time I have appointed, and it will fit you. It will fit your values. It will fit your peace. It will fit your capacity. It will fit your calling. And when it comes, you will not have to explain why it took so long. You will understand why it had to be right. So bless them without bleeding. Celebrate them without sentencing yourself. Let their testimony become a torch, not a threat. Let it remind you that I am still moving, still answering, still opening doors, because if I did it there, I am able to do it here. But do not turn their now into a knife you hold to your own throat. Put it down. Release the comparison. Release the borrowed timelines. Release the false urgency. And come back into your own story again, where I am not rushing, not forgetting, not failing, only writing, only forming, only loving you with a patience that protects you. Be still, beloved. Breathe and look at me. Your assignment is different, your story is intentional, and your waiting is not a weakness. It is a place where I am working in ways you cannot yet see, and I will not let what I am building in you be stolen by what you are watching in them. And now, beloved, I speak to the part of you that has been afraid of the quiet, because when you finally stop looking at them, when you finally stop measuring your chapter against someone else's page, you become aware of what you have been trying not to feel. The silence, the unanswered messages, the DM you sent with hope in it, sitting there without a reply, the phone that stays quiet longer than you expected, the invitation that doesn't come, the email that doesn't arrive, the numbers that barely move, the progress that feels slow no matter how faithful you have been, the prayer you whispered and then listened for an answer, only to hear what feels like an echo. And you have wondered, is this what it means to be forgotten? Is this what it means to be overlooked? Did I do something wrong? But I tell you the truth. The silent season is not rejection. It is root work. It is not me pushing you away. It is me pulling you deeper. It is not punishment. It is preparation. Not because you are unworthy, but because what I am building for you must be held by something stronger than excitement. Not because I am withholding love, but because my love is careful with you. My love refuses to give you a weight your inner life cannot yet carry. My love refuses to rush you into a season that would expose what still needs healing. So I let the surface grow quiet, not to starve you, but to strengthen you. I see you when the night gets long and your mind starts counting. Counting days, counting months, counting how long it has been since you felt seen, counting how many times you reached out and felt unanswered, counting how many times you tried again and it still didn't open. I see the moment you scroll and your chest tightens, not because you don't want others blessed, but because you are tired of feeling like you are sowing into soil that looks empty. And I am near you right there. I am not offended by your honesty. I am not startled by your tears. Bring them to me, because those tears are not wasted. They are water for what I am growing. Every tear you tried to wipe away quickly, every sigh you thought was too small to call a prayer, every ache you carried quietly so you wouldn't look needy, beloved, I have collected it, I have used it, I have honored it. I do not waste what you release to me. Root work looks like nothing to people who only celebrate fruit. Root work looks like delay to people who only understand speed. But I am not building you for applause, I am building you for endurance. Roots are formed in the hidden place. Roots grow in the dark. Roots spread where no one claps, where no one posts, where no one sees the struggle to keep choosing me when you don't feel immediate reward. And I need you rooted, because what is coming will be beautiful, but it will also be weighty. It will require discernment. It will require boundaries. It will require a steady yes and a holy no. It will require a heart that does not collapse when the pace changes, when the opinions come, when the responsibility increases, when the blessing becomes real and demands stewardship. So in the quiet, I work on your character. I teach you how to be faithful without being frantic. I teach you how to be diligent without being driven by fear. I train your discernment so you stop confusing attention with assignment. I heal the parts of you that used to crave validation so intensely that you would have taken any door just to feel chosen. I strengthen your boundaries so you can hold what I give you without letting others drain it. I give you wisdom so your next season does not become a repeat of old patterns with a new title. I build endurance so you can keep walking when the road is long and still keep your heart soft. I anchor your identity so your life is no longer a performance for acceptance, but a response to love. And I use the silence to teach you my voice. Because you have been surrounded by noise, other people's timelines, other people's opinions, other people's expectations, even your own inner critic, and the noise has made it hard for you to hear me clearly. In the quiet, I separate what is mine from what is not. In the quiet, I show you the difference between pressure and purpose. In the quiet, I expose the motives that needed refinement, not to shame you, but to free you. In the quiet, I pull the weeds before they choke the harvest. And yes, it can feel like nothing is happening because you cannot see roots forming from the surface. But while you think nothing is happening, I am strengthening what will hold the blessing. You have called it being stuck, but I call it being established. You have called it nothing, but I call it foundation. You have called it waiting, but I call it becoming. Not because I am delaying you for no reason, but because I am loving you with a wisdom that sees farther than your urgency. I am not only preparing the door, I am preparing you to walk through it without leaving your peace behind. I am not only preparing the platform, I am preparing the posture. I am not only preparing the promise, I am preparing the person who will live inside the promise without losing me. And I give you permission now, because you have been carrying guilt on top of exhaustion. It is okay to be tired. It is okay to admit that you expected more by now. It is okay to feel the ache of the quiet without interpreting it as abandonment. It is okay to rest without losing faith. Rest is not rebellion against me, it is agreement with me. Rest is you saying, I believe you are working, even when I cannot track it. Rest is you putting down the need to prove your strength through constant motion. Rest is you trusting that I can do in stillness what you cannot do through striving. So breathe, beloved. If your phone is quiet, I am not. If the room feels still, I am not absent. If your prayers feel like echoes, I am still hearing every word, and I am answering in ways you cannot yet measure. I am building roots, deep roots, honest roots, healed roots, wise roots. So when the season turns, and what you have asked for begins to bloom, you will not be uprooted by pressure. You will not be swayed by opinions. You will not be intoxicated by speed. You will not be emptied by people who only come to pick fruit from a tree that was never watered. You will stand. You will remain. You will carry it with peace. Do not despise the hidden place. Do not call the quiet a coffin when it is a garden. Do not call yourself rejected when I am refining you. I am doing a work you cannot rush, and I am doing it because I love you. And when you cannot feel me, hold to what is true. I am here. I am working. I am strengthening what will hold your next season. Be still. Let the roots grow. And as those roots grow, beloved, I come even closer to the ache you have tried to manage with strength, the ache of love. Because it is one thing to wait for doors, to wait for provision, to wait for answers, but it is another thing to watch other people be chosen and feel your own heart whisper, "What about me?" You have carried that question quietly. You have smiled at weddings while swallowing a lump in your throat. You have congratulated engagements while feeling the sting of being unseen. You have told yourself you are fine, you are focused, you are busy, you are content, yet at night your mind wanders to the fear you don't like to name. Will I be overlooked? Will I be chosen last? Will I have to beg to be loved? Will I have to prove I am worth staying for? I see where you have been measuring love by milestones. I see the way you have treated time like a verdict. You look at your age, your history, your patterns, your unanswered prayers, and you have been tempted to call yourself too late. You have watched the calendar flip and felt your chest tighten as if the passing of months could erase my promise over your life. And hear me, this is not because you are unworthy, but because you have been measuring love by milestones. You have been letting announcements interpret your value. You have been letting someone else's timeline preach to your heart. And when you do that, beloved, you start striving for what was never meant to be chased like a trophy. Because the lie you have been fighting is not only, "I'm behind." The deeper lie is, "If I were more attractive, more accomplished, more settled, more spiritual, more successful, then I would be chosen." And so you have tried to become impressive to feel secure. You have tried to be easy to love, low maintenance, always understanding, always available, always agreeable, because somewhere along the way you learned to confuse love with performance. You learned to audition. You learned to compete. You learned to hold your breath and hope someone finally picks you. But I did not create you to live like a candidate. I created you to live like my beloved. You do not need to compete for love. You need to receive it. Not the counterfeit kind that makes you anxious and small. Not the fragile kind that keeps you scanning for signs you are about to be left. Not the conditional kind that rewards you when you hide your needs and punishes you when you tell the truth. I am not calling you into a love that requires you to disappear. I am healing you into a love you can carry with peace. Because love is not earned by speed, it is stewarded by wholeness. Love is not sustained by proving, it is sustained by presence. Love is not protected by your perfection, it is protected by my wisdom and my timing and the strength I am building in you right now. And I know, beloved, you have been tempted to rush into a connection, rush into a conversation, rush into a compromise just to silence that lonely place. You have looked at what you want and you have thought, if I can just get it, I will finally feel safe. But I tell you the truth, I will not rush you into a connection that keeps you anxious and small. I will not hand you to someone who makes you question your worth every week. I will not speed you into a relationship that turns your nervous system into a battlefield. I will not place you in a love that requires constant monitoring, constant decoding, constant chasing, constant fear. That is not love. That is bondage, wearing a beautiful outfit. I am not withholding. I am protecting. I am not ignoring your desire. I am refining it. Because you have asked me for love, but you have also asked me for peace. And I will not answer one prayer by violating the other. You have asked me for companionship, but you have also asked me to heal you. You have asked me for covenant, but you have also asked me for clarity. So I am doing what you cannot always see. I am aligning what you want with what you need. I am teaching you to recognize safety. I am teaching you to honor your own heart. I am teaching you to stop confusing intensity with intimacy. I am teaching you that consistency is holy. I am teaching you that love does not punish you for being human. Some of you have been afraid that if you don't fight for love, you won't have it. So you overgive. You over-explain. You over-function. You become the one who holds everything together because you think if you stop striving, you will be left. But beloved, that is not how my love works. I do not lure you with hope and then shame you with scarcity. I do not set you up to compete for what I already decided to give you in the right season. I do not require you to bleed to prove you are loyal. The love I have for you is not a prize at the end of your exhaustion. It is the foundation underneath your healing. And hear this, because it will settle your heart. What is for you will recognize you in the right season without confusion. It will not need you to twist yourself into someone else. It will not require you to chase what keeps running. It will not demand you shrink your voice to keep someone comfortable. It will not keep you in constant dread, wondering if today is the day you will be replaced. What is for you will come with a witness of peace, not because it will be perfect, but because it will be safe enough to grow. Not because you will never have questions, but because you will not be tormented. Not because you will never need courage, but because you will not have to abandon yourself to be loved. So let me heal the place where you thought being chosen meant being fast. Let me heal the place where you thought being loved meant being impressive. Let me heal the place where you thought waiting meant you were unwanted. You are not unwanted. You are not forgotten. You are not the leftover. You are not the consolation prize. You are mine. And I am not just preparing a relationship. I am preparing your heart to receive love without panic, to hold love without fear, to give love without losing yourself. Beloved, put down the competition. Put down the inner race. Put down the secret shame that says, if it hasn't happened yet, it won't. That is not prophecy. That is pain talking. And I am gentler than your pain, but I am stronger than it. I am teaching you to receive, not because you have finally earned it, but because I have always loved you. I am teaching you to rest in the truth that you are not competing for love. You are being prepared to carry it in peace. So breathe again. Open your hands again. Let the striving loosen. Let the fear of being unseen release its grip. I see you. I have not missed you. I am not late to your life. And I will not give you a love that steals your peace. I will give you a love you can live in, a love that meets you whole, a love that honors the work I have done in you, a love that does not require you to run. Be still, beloved. Receive what I am healing. Receive what I am building. Receive my love first, because when you are filled, you will no longer chase what cannot hold you. You will be able to recognize what is truly for you, and you will not have to compete for it. And now, beloved, I speak to the part of you that keeps whispering, I'm behind, because you have looked at where you thought you would be, and you have felt that old heat of shame rise in your chest. You have counted again. You have replayed again. You have wondered again if you missed it, if you ruined it, if you waited too long, if you weren't enough. And I am telling you, you are not behind. You are becoming. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being pushed aside. You are being strengthened in secret. Hear me clearly, not because I am delaying you, but because I am deepening you. Not because I am withholding from you, but because I am building capacity within you. Not because I have forgotten what you asked me for, but because I remember what it will require to carry it with peace. You keep looking at the calendar like it is a judge, but I am the author, and I am writing you into stability. I am writing you into self-control. I am writing you into discernment. I am writing you into spiritual authority. I am writing you into emotional maturity that will not crumble the moment pressure touches it. Because there was a version of you, yes, beloved, I see it, there was a version of you that would have called attention, affirmation. There was a version of you that would have called speed, success. There was a version of you that would have called intensity, love. And you would have run after what clapped for you, what complimented you, what chose you loudly, what made you feel finally seen. You used to chase validation because you thought it would settle you. You used to reach for the quickest yes because you thought it would prove you were not forgotten. You used to over-explain, over-give, over-function, overextend because you thought you had to earn staying power in places I never assigned you. But I have been teaching you quiet confidence, the kind that does not need to perform, the kind that does not panic when no one applauds, the kind that can be hidden and still be whole, the kind that can wait and still be certain. I have been teaching you to stand with your own story again, not with your chest puffed up, not with pride, but with peace. The kind of peace that says, I know who I am, and I know whose I am, even if the room is quiet. That is not nothing, beloved. That is strength. That is unshakable. And do you know what this season has been producing while you thought you were losing time? It has been producing stability, so you are not tossed back and forth by every mood, every message, every delay, every door that does not open on your schedule. It has been producing self-control so you no longer have to obey every impulse, every craving, every fear that screams for immediate relief. It has been producing discernment so you can recognize what looks good but is not God, what feels familiar but is not safe, what is open but is not assigned to you. It has been producing spiritual authority so you stop begging what I already promised and start agreeing with what I have spoken over you. It has been producing emotional maturity so you can be disappointed without being destroyed, so you can be corrected without collapsing, so you can be blessed without becoming bound. You thought you needed the promise to feel secure, but I have been making you secure before the promise arrives, because I love you too much to hand you something your inner life cannot sustain. I love you too much to bring you into a finally that turns into a frantic maintenance of what you received. You keep thinking the goal is getting it, but the goal is keeping it with me. The goal is living inside it, without losing your identity, without losing your softness, without losing your prayer, without losing your peace. The goal is not just a door opening. The goal is you walking through that door as someone whole. So when it feels like you are behind, I want you to ask yourself, behind what? Behind who? Behind a timeline I never wrote? Behind a pace I never assigned? Behind an image that never had the weight of your calling on it? Beloved, I did not design you to run on someone else's clock. I designed you to move with me, and when you move with me, you do not arrive depleted. You do not arrive desperate. You do not arrive addicted to approval. You arrive grounded. You arrive steady. You arrive able to discern, able to say no, able to rest, able to lead, able to love without fear. And I know the waiting has exposed you. It has exposed what you leaned on. It has exposed what you feared. It has exposed the places where you believed, if it doesn't happen soon, I will not survive. But look at you, beloved, you are still here, still breathing, still praying, still hoping, even if it has been trembling hope, still reaching for me, even if your reach has been quiet, still chosen, still invited, still held. Right now, not later, not when you achieve more, not when you prove more, not when you finally arrive at a certain milestone. Right now, in the middle, in the process, in the becoming, my hand is on you. And I am not ashamed of your process. I am not annoyed by your humanity. I am not measuring you the way you have measured yourself. I am not asking you to be flawless. I am forming you to be faithful. I am forming you to be steady when emotions surge. I am forming you to be wise when options multiply. I am forming you to be humble when praise comes. I am forming you to be courageous when responsibility increases. I am forming you to be unshakable, not because storms will never come, but because you will know where to stand when they do. This is the workshop, beloved. This is where I strengthen what will hold your future. This is where I teach your hands to stop grabbing and start receiving. This is where I teach your heart to stop racing and start resting. This is where I teach your mouth to stop confessing fear and start speaking faith. This is where I teach your spirit to stop flinching at silence and start hearing my voice beneath it. And you thought this season was only about what you haven't seen yet, but it has been about what I have been building in you all along. So do not despise the slow forming. Do not curse the process that is giving you backbone. Do not call it falling behind when it is, in my hands, rising into strength. What I am preparing will be good, yes, but what I am preparing you to become will be even more precious. Because the promise is a gift, but the person who can carry it with peace is a miracle. And I am working that miracle in you, quietly, patiently, faithfully. Stay with me here. Let me finish what I started. Let me make you steady. Let me make you clear. Let me make you unshakable. Because you are not only going to receive what you have prayed for, you are going to be the kind of person who can keep it without losing yourself. And that, beloved, is love in motion. And now, beloved, I want you to do something simple but holy. Put down the stopwatch, because you have been timing your life like a test, and you have been grading your faith by how fast I move. You have been checking, calculating, measuring, refreshing, replaying, acting as if your vigilance can control the outcome. And it has not made you wiser. It has made you weary. It has not made you prepared. It has made you tense. It has not made you secure. It has made you suspicious of my love. Listen to me. Peace, not speed, is your new proof of trust. Not because everything is fixed, but because you are held. Not because you suddenly understand every delay, but because you remember who writes the days. Not because the door has already opened, but because I am already here in the hallway with you, and you are safe even before the handle turns. So come closer and practice surrender with me right now. Not as a theory, not as a quote you save and forget, but as a choice you make with your body, with your mind, with your breath. Release the timeline mentally. Stop rehearsing the what-ifs. Release the timeline emotionally. Stop punishing yourself for what hasn't happened yet. Release the timeline spiritually. Stop treating waiting like a sign that I am not speaking. Waiting is not the absence of my care. It is often the evidence of it. I know what you have been doing. You wake up and check again. You go to bed and check again. You scroll and search for proof that you are not falling behind. You count days like they are enemies. You count months like they are accusations. You replay conversations. You rewrite texts in your head. You try to predict what people will do. You try to brace for what you fear I might not do. And you call it being responsible. But I call it carrying what you were never meant to carry. So tonight, beloved, stop checking, stop calculating, stop chasing certainty through constant monitoring. Stop reopening the same mental tab and asking it to finally give you peace. That tab will never give you peace. That schedule will never give you peace. That comparison will never give you peace. Peace is not found in more information. Peace is found in staying your mind on me. For I have spoken it before, and I speak it over you now. I will keep you in perfect peace when your mind is stayed on me, when your trust is anchored in me. Perfect peace does not mean a perfect life. It means a protected mind. It means your thoughts no longer run wild without leadership. It means you stop letting fear be the narrator. It means you let me be the center again. So breathe, and let this be your offering. Whisper it if you need to. Say it with your hands open if you can. My plans, my pace, my deadlines, my fear, my comparisons, I place them in your hands. My expectations, my impatience, my need to know, my need to control, my need to be ahead, I place them in your hands. My calendar, my age, my timeline, my unanswered questions, my pressure to perform, I place them in your hands. My urge to rush, my urge to settle, my urge to prove, my urge to compete, I place them in your hands. And as you place them, do not place them like you might pick them back up in 5 minutes. Place them like you trust me to hold them without dropping them. Place them like you believe I am strong enough to carry what is crushing you. And hear me, surrender is not you pretending you don't care. Surrender is you refusing to let what you care about become an idol that steals your rest. Surrender is you agreeing that my timing is not a threat, it is love in motion. Surrender is you saying, I do not have to be frantic to be faithful. Surrender is you putting down the stopwatch and picking up peace. Because peace will tell you the truth when comparison is lying. Comparison says, hurry. Peace says, hold steady. Comparison says, you're late. Peace says, you are led. Comparison says, they're ahead, so you must be behind. Peace says, their pace is not your proof. Comparison says, if you don't grasp it now, you'll lose it. Peace says, what is for you cannot miss you. Not because you are lucky, but because I am faithful. Not because you are perfect, but because I am precise. So make this practical tonight. I am not asking you to never plan. I am asking you to stop worshiping the plan. I am not asking you to never desire. I am asking you to stop letting desire whip you like a taskmaster. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom. I am asking you to stop calling anxiety wisdom. There is a difference between discernment and dread. Discernment is quiet and clear. Dread is loud and demanding, and I am leading you by peace. Tonight, you will not rehearse worst-case scenarios as if they are prophecy. Tonight, you will not punish your future in advance. Tonight, you will not scroll until your heart tightens and call it staying informed. Tonight, you will not keep returning to what triggers you and then wonder why your spirit feels heavy. Tonight, you will choose one small act of trust. Close the app, put the phone down. Stop rereading the same thread. Stop looking for signs. Stop timing the silence. Stop negotiating with fear, and when the impulse rises again because I know it will bring your mind back to me, gently, firmly, faithfully, stay it on me. Let your thoughts have a home again. And if you feel the panic try to flare, if your chest tightens, if your mind starts racing, you will say, not because everything is fixed, but because I am held. You will say, I return my timeline to God. You will say, I refuse to measure my life with someone else's ruler. You will say, peace is my proof. You will say, I am not late. I am loved. You will say, I am not forgotten. I am being formed. You will say, I can rest because God is awake over what I cannot control. Beloved, I am not asking you to force calm. I am offering you my peace, the kind that guards you, the kind that settles you, the kind that does not depend on circumstances cooperating before it arrives. Let peace be your yes to me. Let peace be your evidence that you have returned the pen. Let peace be your rebellion against the tyranny of the clock. Put down the stopwatch. Stay with me, and let that be enough for tonight. And now, beloved, I speak to you in the hours when everything becomes louder inside, when the house is quiet, when the lights are off, when the notifications stop, when you finally lay your head down, and the ache you kept contained all day tries to rise like a wave. I see the way your mind reaches for control in the dark. I see the way you replay what you said, what you should have said, what you meant, what they meant, what might happen, what if it doesn't, what if it never does. I see you staring at the ceiling, bargaining with sleep, checking the clock like time itself is a threat. I see the tightness in your chest that you have learned to call just stress, even when it is fear trying to sit on your breath. But listen to me. You are safe tonight, not because it is solved, not because you finally have the answer, not because every door has opened and every question has been settled. You are safe because I am with you. You are safe because I do not sleep, and I do not look away. You are safe because the night does not make me distant. The night does not hide you from me. The night does not increase your problem in my hands. What feels heavier to you after dark is not heavier to me. What feels urgent to you at midnight is not urgent to me in panic, because I hold the end from the beginning, and I am not nervous about your life. You have been carrying tomorrow in your body, beloved. You have been trying to solve what is not solvable by overthinking it one more time. You have been trying to predict people so you do not get hurt. You have been trying to predict outcomes so you do not get disappointed, and it has exhausted you. And you have wondered, quietly, if I am disappointed in your tired faith, if I am bothered by your weakness, if I am far because you cannot find the words the way you used to. But hear me clearly. Prayer fatigue is not failure. Weariness is not rebellion. Your inability to form perfect sentences does not cancel my attention. Before you whisper a prayer tonight, I am already answering. Before you find the strength to speak, I have already leaned in. Before you gather your thoughts, I have already gathered you. I do not wait for you to sound strong. I do not require you to perform peace to earn my presence. I am near to you in the quiet, in the messy, in the wordless. When you can only sigh, I understand. When you can only breathe, I receive it. When you can only say, help, I call it faith, because you came to me. So let your body know what your spirit is learning. Unclench your jaw, beloved. Uncurl your hands. Release your shoulders from around your ears. You have been bracing as if you must fight through the night. But I am telling you, you do not have to guard everything while you sleep. You do not have to stay alert to be safe. You do not have to keep watch over every outcome as if your vigilance is what keeps you held together. That is not your assignment. That is mine. Breathe slowly with me now, in and out. Let the breath be a prayer when words are too heavy. Let the exhale be a surrender. Let the inhale be a receiving. Not because you are pretending nothing hurts, but because you are remembering who holds you while it hurts. And as you breathe, I want you to hear this again until it settles. I am awake over what you cannot control. I am awake over the door that has not opened yet. I am awake over the answer you have not heard yet. I am awake over the person you cannot change. I am awake over the timeline you keep trying to manage. I am awake over your future. I am awake over your child. I am awake over your body. I am awake over your finances. I am awake over your calling. I am awake over the details you keep revisiting like they might finally obey you. I am awake and I am working. Some of you have been afraid that if you rest, things will fall apart. You have believed, without saying it out loud, that your worry is what keeps disaster away. But worry is not protection. Worry is not love. Worry is not wisdom. Worry is a thief that comes to steal your peace in the very hours I designed to restore you, and I am calling you back to childlike trust again. Not childish denial, childlike trust. The trust that says, I can fall asleep because my Father is still watching. The trust that says, I can stop monitoring because God does not miss anything. The trust that says, I do not have to be frantic to be faithful. So tonight, let rest be faith. Let sleep be surrender. Let your closed eyes be in agreement with me. I am not God, and I do not have to act like it. And if you wake again, if the thoughts knock again, do not condemn yourself. Do not spiral into shame. Just return, gently, firmly, faithfully. Return your mind to me. Return your breath to me. Return your future to me. Say, not because it is fixed, but because I am held. Say, I can rest because God is awake. Say, I am not alone in this room, because you are not. And now, beloved, let us pray, not to perform, not to prove, not to impress, not to earn. Let us pray to come home. Let us pray the way a tired child climbs into the arms of a loving father. Let us pray with honesty. Let us pray with open hands. Let us pray until the noise inside you loses its authority, and my peace becomes louder than your fear. Come closer now. Bring me what you've been carrying, and let that be enough for tonight. Beloved, come with me now into prayer. Not the kind you perform, not the kind you perfect, not the kind you rush through to feel better for a moment. Come into the kind of prayer that breaks agreements. Because some of what has been tormenting you is not your circumstance. It is the inner contract you have signed in secret. The contract that says, if I am not as far as they are, I am failing. The contract that says, if it has not happened yet, it will not happen. The contract that says, if I am not chosen quickly, I am not chosen at all. And tonight, I am not condemning you for it. I am freeing you from it. So, breathe and pray with open hands. Let your honesty be worship. Let your surrender be strength. Father, in the name of Jesus, here I am. I stop hiding behind noise, behind scrolling, behind busy hands and busy thoughts, and I come to you as I am. I confess it. I have compared. I have measured my life against someone else's highlight, someone else's timeline, someone else's chapter, and I have called it motivation when it was envy. I have called it being realistic when it was unbelief. I have called it just feeling behind when it was an agreement with shame. Forgive me, Lord, not with humiliation, but with healing. Wash me clean of the ways I have doubted your care. Wash me clean of the ways I have accused your timing. Wash me clean of the impatience that has turned into pressure, the pressure that has turned into self-pity, the self-pity that has turned into bitterness. I lay it down without excuses and without shame, because you are not harsh with me. You are kind, and your kindness leads me back home. And now, Father, I renounce the lie. I renounce it out loud in my spirit. I am not behind. I am not forgotten. I am not less than. I am not disqualified because my journey has been slower, quieter, different, or hidden. I break agreement with the voice that says, you missed it. I break agreement with the voice that says, you are too late. I break agreement with the voice that says, God is doing it for everyone else except you. That voice is not yours, and I will not host it anymore. In the name of Jesus, I cancel every inner vow I made in pain, every vow that said, I have to hurry or I will lose love, every vow that said, I have to outperform to be chosen, every vow that said, I have to prove myself to be safe. Lord, I release those vows, and I return to truth, your voice, your pace. And Father, I invite you into the place where comparison started, not just the symptoms, but the root. I bring you the rejection that taught me to compete. I bring you the moment I felt overlooked. I bring you the family pressure that made love feel conditional. I bring you the comments that stuck to my skin. I bring you the rooms where I learned to shrink and the rooms where I learned to perform. I bring you the heartbreak that made me think, if I had been more, they would have stayed. I bring you the disappointment that made me believe, if God loved me, it would have happened by now. Father, heal me where I was wounded. Heal the part of me that flinches when someone else succeeds. Heal the part of me that spirals when I see an announcement, an engagement, a promotion, a breakthrough, a body that looks different, a life that looks easier. Heal the part of me that cannot celebrate because it secretly feels threatened. I do not want to be tormented by triggers. I do not want to be ruled by comparison. I want to be made whole. So tonight, Lord, I ask you to cleanse my eyes and quiet my mind. Where social media has trained me to measure, retrain me to be present. Where constant exposure has made me restless, Teach me contentment without numbness. Where I have been impatient, give me patience that is alive, patience that still hopes, patience that still obeys, patience that still prays. Give me courage to walk at the pace you assign to me. Give me joy in small steps. Give me discipline in the ordinary. Give me faithfulness when nobody claps. Give me a spirit that can celebrate others without sentencing myself, because their blessing is not my subtraction. Their timeline is not my accusation. Their chapter is not my evidence. You are the author of my days, and you do not forget what you wrote. Father, restore trust in your timing. Not a shallow trust that pretends waiting doesn't hurt, but a deep trust that rests while it waits. Teach my heart to say, if it is not yet, it is not denial, it is direction. Teach my mind to stop editing the story with anxiety. Teach my spirit to stop reaching for control and start reaching for you. Align my desires with your wisdom. Align my decisions with your peace. Align my footsteps with your order. Close what must be closed. And let me call it love. Delay what must be delayed, and let me call it protection. Prepare what must be prepared, and let me call it mercy. I do not want what is early, if it will cost me my peace. I do not want what is loud if it will steal my soul. I want what is right. I want what is yours. And now, beloved, receive this with me. Father, I receive your peace. I receive your alignment. I receive your timing is good. I receive the freedom to stop racing. I receive the grace to stop measuring. I receive the joy to stop envying. I receive the humility to stop demanding answers as proof that you are present. You are present now. You are working now. You are faithful now. And tonight, I return the pen. I return the calendar. I return the scoreboard. I return the ruler I used to harm myself. And I say, with a steady heart, your will, your way, your time. Let comparison lose its voice. Let trust rise again. Let my story be protected. Let my pace be holy. Let my heart be settled. I am held. I am led. I am loved. And that is enough. Amen. And now, beloved, seal it. Do not let this moment be only a tear and a whisper. Let it become a stance. Let it become a sound in your mouth that your soul can recognize when the old pressure tries to return. Because comparison will try to knock again, and impatience will try to speak again, and the world will try to rush you again, but I am giving you declarations that build a wall of peace around your heart. Say it with me. Say it even if your voice trembles. Say it until your spirit stands up straight again. Declare, I am not late. I am not overlooked. I am not forgotten. I am held. I am guided. I am secured. Not because I have proof in my hands, but because I have a Father who does not lose track of his children. Not because everything is visible, but because my God is already working in what I cannot see. Not because doors have opened on my schedule, but because the one who opens doors is faithful and precise. I am not late. I am led. Declare, I will not measure my worth by milestones. I will not call myself behind because my life looks different. I will not let a number, a title, a relationship status, a salary, a timeline, a platform, or an announcement decide my value. I am chosen. I am loved. I am known. I am wanted. I am not competing for affection. I am receiving it. I am not chasing validation. I am walking in identity. I belong to God, and that is my greatest milestone. Declare, my story will not be rushed. My story will not be stolen, not by envy, not by fear, not by the pressure of watching someone else's chapter and panicking about my own. I refuse to edit what I did not author. I refuse to hurry what I am called to steward. I refuse to bleed peace just to prove I am progressing, not because ambition is wrong, but because anxiety is not wisdom. Not because waiting is easy, but because my God is good. Declare this, beloved. I will not envy what would harm me. I will not crave what would cost me my peace. I will not call it blessing if it breaks my integrity. I will not call it favor if it fractures my soul. I trust God's wisdom over my urgency. I trust God's not yet as protection. I trust God's closed door as love in motion. I trust the delay that is saving me from becoming who I would have to be to survive what I asked for too early. Declare, I will celebrate others without sentencing myself. Their blessing is not my subtraction. Their timeline is not my accusation. Their speed is not my proof. I can rejoice and still rest. I can clap and still trust. I can honor what God is doing for them without using it to bully my own heart. I will not borrow someone else's breakthrough to judge my waiting. My portion has my name on it. My assignment has my grace on it. My season has my timing on it. And now declare obedience. Because peace is not passive, it is surrendered. Say it. I will move when God says move, and I will wait when God says wait. I will not run ahead to feel in control. I will not lag behind to stay comfortable. I will not be pushed by people's opinions or pulled by my own panic. I will be led. I will listen. I will obey, even if it is slow, even if it is quiet, even if it is misunderstood. I would rather be aligned than applauded. I would rather be faithful than fast. I would rather be in step with my spirit than ahead of my covering. Declare it clearly. My timeline is protected. My steps are ordered. My doors are assigned. My yes is guarded. My no is holy. My pace is not an accident. It is wisdom. My preparation is not wasted. It is necessary. My hidden season is not rejection. It is root work. And what is growing in the dark will hold what I carry in the light. Now speak to your future with peace, beloved, because fear has been trying to prophesy over you, and I am giving you a better sound. Declare, what God writes will be beautiful, and it will arrive whole. Not frantic, not patched together from pressure, not half-formed because I forced it. Whole, steady, clean, timely. What I receive from God will not require me to abandon myself to keep it. What God builds will not demand that I become anxious to maintain it. What God gives will come with the grace to carry it. Because I do not bless you to break you, I bless you in love. Declare, I will not be rushed into decisions by insecurity. I will not be rushed into relationships by loneliness. I will not be rushed into opportunities by comparison. I will not be rushed into proving myself by fear. I am not desperate. I am desired. I am not scrambling. I am secure. I am not chasing. I am trusting. I am not behind. I am being formed. And when the old voice rises again, when you see the post, when you hear the news, when you feel that familiar ache, declare again, not late, not overlooked, not forgotten, held, guided, secured, not anxious, not pressured, not panicked, covered, carried, kept, not rejected, not replaced, not disqualified, chosen, loved, led. Let that be your language. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your refusal to live under the tyranny of the clock. Beloved, I am writing your story differently on purpose, and what I write, I finish. What I promise, I perform. What I begin, I complete. So lift your head with peace. Open your hands with trust. Walk at the pace I assign to you. And say it one more time like you mean it, like heaven is listening, because it is. My story will not be rushed, and it will not be stolen. It will be beautiful. It will be whole. It will be on time. And I will be with you in every step. Amen. Now, beloved, do not let this word sit on the surface of you and then slip away when life gets loud again. Seal it. Keep it close. Let it move from something you heard to something you live. Because I know how the old pressure tries to return, how comparison waits like a shadow, how the night tries to whisper, how the scroll tries to trigger, how your mind tries to measure again the moment you step back into your day. So I am not only comforting you, I am commissioning you. I am giving you a next step that keeps peace guarded in you. So I want you to do this simple, but powerful. Write it. Say it. Put it somewhere your heart can see it when it forgets. Comment, God is writing my story differently and I trust Him. Not because you have every detail, but because you have me. Not because the timeline is explained, but because the author is faithful. Let your words be an altar. Let that sentence be a line in the sand. Let it be your yes to peace over pressure. And then, beloved, do not keep this alone. I did not design you to fight in isolation, quietly breaking under silent comparisons, smiling in the day and unraveling at night. Share this with the friend who's been silently comparing and losing hope at night. The one who keeps saying, I'm happy for them, while their chest tightens. The one who acts fine, but goes to bed feeling late, feeling forgotten, feeling like they missed their moment. Send it to them like a hand on the shoulder. Send it to them like a lamp in a dark room. Because I will use one shared word to interrupt a spiral. I will use one moment of love to remind them they are not behind, they are being formed. And stay close, beloved. Stay connected. Subscribe, not as a platform thing, not as a number, not as noise, but as a covering for your mind. Subscribe so you don't have to fight these battles alone. Let these words meet you again. Let them meet you when you wake up and feel that familiar rush. Let them meet you when you see the announcement and feel the ache. Let them meet you when the night comes and your thoughts start to race. You are not meant to white-knuckle your way into peace. You are meant to return, again and again, to truth, and I will keep meeting you there. And if you are choosing peace over pressure this week, if you are putting down the stopwatch, if you are releasing the ruler, if you are refusing to rehearse the lie tap like as your gentle amen, not because I need it, but because your spirit needs a marker, a small act that says, I agree with heaven, I agree with peace, I agree with God's timing. Let it be your quiet commitment that you will not go back to measuring yourself with someone else's life. And now, before you go, receive this blessing. I speak peace over your mind, the kind that does not argue with every thought, the kind that does not panic at every delay, the kind that guards you when you cannot guard yourself. I speak rest over your body, release in your shoulders, ease in your chest, softness in your breath. I speak steadiness in your steps, no rushing to prove, no striving to be seen, no scrambling to keep up. I speak clarity in your decisions, that you will recognize my voice by the peace it carries, and you will not mistake anxiety for wisdom again. I speak trust over your waiting, that you will not call it punishment, that you will not call it failure, that you will call it preparation, protection, and love in motion. May you walk into your week unhurried. May you be faithful without being frantic. May you celebrate others without sentencing yourself. May you remember, in the moment the old comparison tries to rise, that your days were written, your steps are ordered, and your story is secured in my hands. I am with you. I am for you. I am working even when you cannot see it. And what I am writing over you will be beautiful, not fast, not late, but right. Go in peace, beloved. Your story is not behind. Your story is in my time. Amen.